Hello viewers, thank you for joining us here today. First, I'd like to start by welcoming our guest for the day, Mr. Jaishankar Krishnan, the co-founder at Pure Connexions. Hello sir, thank you for joining us here today.
My pleasure, Supriya. Thank you for having me here.
The pleasure is ours, sir, completely. So let me just start by introducing Mr. Krishnan. He is a seasoned industry veteran with over 4 decades of experience. Prior to Pure Connexions, Mr. Krishnan has been associated with companies like Ingram Micro, Tech Pacific Asia, Godrej and ECIL. He is an experienced managing director with a demonstrated history of working in the information technology and services industry. He's also skilled in partner relationship management, go-to-market strategy, channel sales, management, and solution selling. So with this introduction, I'd like to go into the question and answers that we have for today. So Mr. Krishnan, if you could just tell us a little bit about Pure Connexions, what the company does and who are the people behind the company. Over to you, sir.
Sure, Supriya. So Pure Connexions was actually started by 3 of us. All 3 of us are very seasoned IT distribution industry veterans. Just to name them, we have Shailendra Gupta, who was the president for Asia Pacific for Ingram Micro for many years. And when he retired from Ingram Micro, he was a global business unit head for mobility and services division. The second co-founder was Mr. Ramesh Nair. He was the CIO for Ingram Micro Asia Pacific for many years, and then moved to the corporate headquarters as the global CTO for Ingram Micro, based out of our headquarters in Santa Ana, California. And I am the third co-founder. As you mentioned, Supriya, I have a lot of industry experience and also experience with Ingram Micro. I was a country CEO for Ingram Micro India for over 18 years and overall almost 25 years with Ingram Micro. So 3 of us left around end of 2018. And all our experience had been in technology distribution and in the distribution industry. And rather than just sitting at home doing nothing after retirement, we thought, let us try and give back something to the industry that we spent so many years in, and build a solution that we believe would be, a significant value add for brands and distributors who go to market through a channel model. Right? So what Pure Connexions is basically is a platform that is a B2B e-commerce platform, but it has many value-added services and features around the core e-commerce engine, which we have developed in an attempt to address some of the challenges, or you could say weaknesses, that we observed in our work life, right? Distributing products to the channel ecosystem. So that is what Pure Connexions is about. It's a B2B e-commerce platform with many features that help brands and distributors go to market much more efficiently than the traditional physical go-to-market model that is mostly employed today.
That was a great introduction, sir, and it's wonderful to hear that all of the people behind Pure Connexions, I mean, you have decades of experience, so I'm sure you have a wealth of knowledge, to offer to the market. So talking about the market, what are the gaps in the market that you aim to, fill?
So like I mentioned, that the traditional way of distributing products through channel ecosystem has been in practice for many, many years, right? And but in our experience, we feel that there are certain practices that could be much more efficient and much more value-added, accretive to the customers in the channel ecosystem. So, for example, just to give one example, today's channel model, particularly in a country like India, which is a vast geography with tens of thousands of partners, resellers who are selling the products and brands to the end customers, it is very difficult for a tier 1 distributor or for a brand to address all these partners, talk to them about their product portfolio, about the benefits of their products, their promotions and other benefits that they offer to their channel partners. And therefore, as a result, what happens is that the business kind of develops into a multi-tier distribution model where each layer is adding value in terms of carrying, of course, inventory and working capital support, but is also serving another layer in the channel because they are closer to the channel. And as a result, what we felt is that the visibility of a brand or a tier one distributor, what exactly is happening at the final tier in terms of brand choice, what products are working well, what promotions are working well, and what tweaks they should do to their go-to-market strategy to be more competitive and more effective in meeting end customer needs, is kind of not really being felt because brands and distributors are far away from the final tier, which is actually promoting the brand and acting as a consultant to the end user. So what happens is that these relationships move down the channel to different layers in the channel, which ultimately perform this role. But the feedback doesn't come back to the brand, and as a result, many cases they are operating in a kind of a vacuum with a lack of information, a lack of analytics to really take impactful, you can say, marketing decisions or product decisions or business decisions. So we are trying to address this particular challenge in the current go-to-market model by giving a platform where brands and distributors can address a large base of final tier partners across the length and breadth of the geography and talk to them directly. Tell them what they have to offer, tell them what is different about their products and services compared to their competitors, build a relationship with the final tier. And I can tell you that in our experience, the final tier small reseller, kind of misses this interaction with the brand and tier one distributor. They feel that they are really not being given the importance, recognition, and the support that they need to be able to effectively grow their own business. And they value any platform or any methodology which will give them access to these brands and distributors and a channel of communication with them directly. So that is what we are trying to do. We are trying to build, provide a platform which will help the brands and distributors talk to these final tier partners who actually influence brand choice at the end customer level and tell them about their value proposition.
So if I had to ask you that what is the competitive advantage that you have to offer when compared to others in the same domain, what do you have to say?
Yeah, we are a little different from other B2B, service providers or marketplaces in the sense that we do not intend to in the future as well buy and sell products. So we are not competing with the existing channel ecosystem players. What we are providing is a service, and we want to provide the service in a way that adds value to the existing players in the channel ecosystem. Okay, so we don't want to become a competitor to distributors, sub-distributors, or other players in the channel ecosystem. And our objective is really to help them do their business much more efficiently in a digital way, lower their cost, increase their effectiveness of their promotions, marketing programs, etc., and to build a relationship and a channel of communication as a final tier, which will help them understand the business better and how the customers are reacting to their products and services, and help them fine-tune their go-to-market strategy to grow their business. So that's our very clear objective. We will never buy and sell, but we provide more and more services on the platform which will make it simpler, easier, more transparent to all the players in the channel ecosystem and help them do business much more efficiently.
And sir, if I could ask you about, apart from everything that you already mentioned, what are the key benefits that Peer Connexions has to offer to resellers, brands, and distributors?
So I mentioned some of them already, Supriya. It is like we said, access to a large set of partners across the geographies of the country. Today, if you want to really go and broaden the base of your reseller partners, the only way you can do it today is by putting more feet on the ground, right? And by directly, physically managing relationships. And there's a limit to how much you can do that because it's an investment, it's a costly investment. And very often the return in terms of business from the small partners may not justify that kind of an investment, right? Because small partners will buy when they have a requirement from the end customer. They are not really stocking products. They are not building up inventory. They are the actual final, tier of the channel which sells against customer orders. So using a digital platform significantly reduces the cost of managing these large set of final tier partners, the smaller long tail as we call them in the industry, and communicating with them directly about all your offerings, right? The other thing is that by being present in a marketplace like ours, you are giving the customer an option to compare products, to compare commercial offerings, whether it is credit, whether it is pricing, etc., and to make an informed choice. And this makes this is a significant value proposition for the final tier, right? Because today, if he wants to look at what are the options before me, he probably has to make a phone call to 4 or 5 suppliers that he has a relationship with, negotiate commercial terms, find out availability where he can get the fastest delivery, and then place an order, which is a cost for him. Whereas by using this platform, even for the customer of the distributor, the final tier reseller, the cost of transacting with the distributor goes down significantly. And therefore, more and more resellers are adopting the digital way of doing business. Finally, there are promotions and programs that are being run by all brands and distributors at various points of time to help grow their business with the channel and to offer special incentives for people to buy their product. Now, very often these promotions don't reach everybody in the channel because the cost of communicating them is very high in the traditional way. So typically these programs are focused on the direct relationships that the distributor has or the brand has, and they depend on them to percolate these benefits down to the final tier of the reseller, and does not always happen. A digital platform like ours, where you can put all your promotions and offers on the platform and make it accessible to all your partners across the country, significantly improves the effectiveness of your marketing programs and allows the final tier to make the best choice in terms of his purchasing decision. And finally, there is also the question of working capital, which is very often blocked in the channel, because the brands offer things like rebate programs, target-based incentive programs, and very often after the program is over, claims have to be raised, the claims have to be validated and verified. Sometimes there are discrepancies, those issues have to be resolved. And by the time the money is paid out, there's a capital blocked for the sub-distributor or retailer or reseller, which is an expensive cost for them, right? So our platform also offers a module where you can run your quarterly rebate programs, annual rebate programs automated on the platform. And the platform will automatically compute achievement of every partner and give you a report which you can, and since it's all automated, verification will normally go through without any discrepancy. You can clear their claims quickly and release working capital for the reseller to do more business. So there are many such benefits that we have currently built into the platform based on our experience in the industry. And there are more features that we intend to build going forward. One of the new trends that is developing in the industry is as a service, right? So you talk about hardware as a service, software as a service, and these are today quite complex business, you can say, algorithms, which require significant amount of personal involvement, management involvement in order to promote it in the market. We intend to build solutions on the platform where you can run such offerings to the channel community in a very low cost, very effective and very quick manner. So we'll continue to build more value propositions for all the partners.
That was great to know, sir. That, you spoke a lot about what you do and everything, and it was really fascinating to listen to. So we spoke about the retailer's business. We spoke about business algorithms. Now let's come to your business. So how has your business been, doing? And are there any key highlights from the past year that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, we've had a reasonably good launch of our platform. We launched our platform in 2020 after about a year of development, year and a half of development. And we got some quick adoption with some brands in the Southeast Asian region. The first country where we launched our platform was Philippines. And today we have almost 6 distributors and about 3 or 4 brands. Of course, the distributors are putting different brands from their portfolio of products onto the platform to offer to their reseller partners. But there are 3 or 4 brands who are directly engaged with us in promoting the platform for their distribution network in the country. Subsequently, we launched in Singapore with a distribution partner who is using the platform for his channel distribution in multiple countries, including Sri Lanka, Singapore, Bangladesh, to name a few. And then about May last year, we launched the platform in India. We understand that India is probably one of the most complex markets in this geography. It's a huge market. There are very complex dynamics that operate in this market. So we wanted to first kind of test out a solution and a platform in the smaller markets in Southeast Asia. And after having gained confidence that we have a good solution to offer, we launched it in India in May 2000. India has been now today in this short 8-9 months that we've been in India, today is our biggest business in the region. Of course, given the size of the market, it's not really very surprising. And we feel that there's much more we can do in this country. But today we have about 5 distributors on our platform, including some very well-known names like Tech Data on the platform selling their IT products. We've also got interest from some non-IT brands in India. So this is one very important point, Supriya, I want to highlight. See, our business model and the features on our platform is not really customized or specific to technology distribution. It helps you manage your distribution business irrespective of what products or brands you are distributing. So we were, we initiated a discussion with some brands outside the IT industry, and we saw some very quick kind of interest in pursuing the discussion further. We don't have any of them on the platform as yet, but we are very hopeful that we will get some of them on the platform very soon. So that is where we are in these countries. We are now in the process of launching our platform in Indonesia as well. We already have a customer who wants to adopt our platform there. So as of now, with these 5 or 6 countries where we are present, and we are starting to get momentum in all these countries, we are taking a pause right now and we want to focus on these countries. Of course, our Singapore distributor is currently facing a bit of a challenge because, as you know, the countries I mentioned are currently going through some hard times economically, and therefore the products that we distribute through the platform are not a priority for them from the government point of view. So the business has slowed down there. But Philippines, India, and Indonesia, these are 3 markets we believe have tremendous potential. And our focus is going to be to grow these 3 countries in the near future to a reasonable level and gain enough traction here before we look at any other further expansion.
You perfectly set the context, for the next question that I was going to ask. I mean, you rightly mentioned that India is a very complex market, and you also rightly mentioned that it has tremendous potential. So what would your, what are your India, what are your plans for expansion in the India market? And, what would your go-to market strategy be?
So one of the things that, obviously in India, we have currently, like I said, about 5 sellers and distributors offering their products on the platform. And we are in discussion with a few more. And we're quite hopeful we will expand that in the near future. But there is still a lot of scope for us to present our solution and our value proposition to a lot more distributors and brands in the country. We are working on that. We've been working on that since the time we launched our platform in India. And it's not, to be very honest with you, it's not an easy sell, right? Because there is an existing way of doing business which has been in practice for many, many years, and it has been successful. There are many companies which have grown tremendously in the last 10, 12 years, particularly in the technology industry, following the current go-to-market model. But the time is coming where the competition is building up in the digital e-commerce space. Like you mentioned in the beginning, one of your first questions, if I'm not wrong, was that there are many competitors who are entering the B2B e-commerce space. And there are some very big names, I won't take any names. And they will ultimately push the business in that direction, right? So if brands and distributors do not have a viable and clear focus on transforming the business, at least some of it, onto a digital platform, our forecast or concern is that some of the big brands or distributors may get left behind in this transformation that is bound to happen in the way distribution happens across product categories and brands, right? So the digital transformation is a buzzword which has been doing the rounds of the industry for many years. But I think now an inflection point has been reached where this is now gaining momentum and traction, and we don't have a choice but to adopt this in some way in our business and start taking the first steps to induct this into the way we do our business, particularly for distributors. So we are in consultations and in conversations with many brands and distributors. We are explaining our value proposition and our point of view to them. It's taking some time, but we are quite hopeful that we will slowly expand the offerings on our marketplace, both from a number of sellers as well as the number of brands on offer on our marketplace, and we'll make it a kind of a platform to visit, a must-visit kind of a platform for all the resellers to know what is on offer, what is happening, what are the new features and promotions, and to transact on the platform. So this is our immediate focus for India in particular.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking time out to talk to us. It was, I learned a lot about what Peer Connections does, what you have to offer for brands, resellers, and distributors. And after today, even our audience will have the same insight into what Peer Connections does. And, you put it across so simply and beautifully. And, it was very wonderful to learn everything that you have to offer. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Supriya. I mean, this industry is in my blood, right? After 40 years in this industry. So it's easy for me to talk about what I think, and I genuinely believe are the challenges that we have to address together with the brand distributors and reseller community if we have to survive and grow our business, because the change is at our doorstep, and if we can't ignore it for long anymore. Okay? And we are trying to offer a solution for it. Thank you very much. We appreciate the opportunity to speak to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.